Hi there, and welcome back to Danielle's Denture Diaries. I am Danielle. In this video, I'm going to be talking about dating with dentures. So, I am going to be very awkward, but I think it's only fair that if I want my channel to provide a safe space for you guys to come to and feel like I can be that friend who talks to you about whatever when it comes to dentures, the gross, the biofilm, the opinions, the adjustments, those struggles, the laughs. It's only fair that I also talk to you about something else I've noticed can come up when it comes to dentures, and that's dating. I personally had been single for a while, and it's been for multiple reasons, but the one that directly pertains to dentures is the fact that I'm myself still new to having dentures. Getting the dentures was something I knew I needed to have done, but I hadn't wrapped my own head around it for a while. So dating wasn't really even in my mind at that point. I was still trying to figure out the next step, and then the step after that, and then the step after that, and how do I prepare, how do I get ready for this? And then along the way, as my E-Day got closer and closer, I did start seeing these videos come up, and they were very interesting to watch because some of them do come from the perspective of someone who is already married or already in a relationship, or one of the other videos that I've watched is someone had gotten into a relationship with a person they had known since high school, which is fine and dandy because I can imagine that if you've already known this person and you know the depth and the content of their character and their personality, and same goes for them to you, I imagine it would already kind of bridge that gap as far as not being able to see past the appearances or the prosthetic. For anyone who has any depth, looks don't matter. So let me just say that up front. Anyone worth you dating and worthy of your attention, this isn't going to be a thing, and it shouldn't be, and it never should be. But let's also acknowledge the reality of this world. The way I see it, dating isn't something where you see someone and you just know, I'm going to date that person before you ever even talk to them. It takes talking to them. It takes getting to know them. It takes some trial and error. It takes some bad dates. It takes some people that are either really accepting and unjudgmental, and in that case, that's fantastic. But there's still that chance that you will unfortunately run into those people who will judge, and they're not going to be as open and receptive to the situation that you and I are in. And that's okay. They need to go find whatever's going to make them happy. And at the end of the day, you should be with someone who you're going to feel comfortable and confident, whether you're wearing your dentures or not, whether you're having a bad denture day and you decide to go the whole day not wearing them or not. I mean, that's just how it is sometimes, and you have to be realistic about what you can do sustainably over a long period of time. And if your intention in dating is the long term, then that's something you have to think about, is what's going to be feasible for you. There are people that I've seen who go years without talking to their partner or telling them, I have dentures. It's very hard for me to see and wrap my head around going years of hiding something like this, which has impacted my life so much and even my daily routine, that your husband or your wife or your partner doesn't somehow know. It's very difficult for me, but people have done it. I'm going to tread lightly talking about that because I feel like, to each their own. If that's what you're comfortable with and you accept the fact that at some point they may find out and you're okay with having that conversation at a later point in time, you need to do you. For me, I don't think I could do that because it's, for one, it's not sustainable, and for two, if I can't be unapologetically myself to whoever I'm with or talking to, then we've already lost the battle, because I would expect the same from them, that they will unapologetically be who they are, because I choose to be with you as you are, in full honesty and transparency, the same as you do for me, and there's a give-take there. And I realize that not everyone's going to feel and think that way. But those are kind of my beginning thoughts and opinions on that. Now, since I've gotten my dentures, the idea of dating has become more and more of something obtainable, because I love myself more now than ever and every day. And I feel the most confident now having my dentures, and setting aside the judgment of others and the stigmas and the myths. I don't care. I know the truth. And the truth is that my dentures make me a better, higher quality of a person as a whole. And it just made me decide now's the time to at least dip your toes in the water and see what happens. And the worst case scenario is going to be you find the love of your life or you do your hookup thing or whatever it is that you're doing right now, I guess. For me, it's long term. That's just me. So just so you have the understanding. But you either find the love of your life, or you find what you're looking for, or you don't. And you keep it moving. But that's going to happen no matter what when you're dating. People are going to date you, and they might not talk to you not because of your teeth. It could be anything. If someone doesn't want to date you, they'll find a reason not to date you. If someone wanted to ghost you, which is terrible, but they'll ghost you. That's just the fact, and that's just the reality. And I wish I had someone to talk to about that personally, but this is what we've got, so here I am. But whether it's your teeth or not your teeth, if they don't want to date you, they're not going to date you. And that's fine. Let them go. Let them go find whatever's going to make them happy. They're missing out because you're a catch. You look beautiful today, by the way. I just wanted to say that. But That's the truth. Now, let's say things are going well, and it does get further. Personally, I downloaded a dating app because that was where I was at that point in time. I was like, well, it's either going to work or it's not. But I can't sit here and keep wondering. And you're never going to know until you try. So I downloaded the app and had different conversations with different people. And the depth of their character and the seriousness of what they were looking for versus what I'm looking for, that for the most part spoke for itself before dentures or prosthetics or medical issues or anything like that even became a conversation. So that's kind of the surface layer of it with dating, right? Is you want to find people with common ground, and you kind of feel for that depth. Because if they're shallow, keep it moving. Just don't. Because you're better than that. Okay? You're better than that. You're more than just your beautiful teeth. But there was one person that I spoke to and kept speaking to. And in my opinion, I don't want to really... I have a child to think about when it comes to dating. So when I think about the depth of someone's character and their integrity and their honor, that's something I have to think about too, is that whoever I end up being with and so on and so forth, it's going to impact my son. So whatever it is that you are protecting for yourself, maybe it is just yourself. Maybe it's the fact that you want to bring home the right girl to mom, or the right guy to dad, or whatever. Or grandparents. Maybe you have kids that you're protecting. Think about them and the fact that this person has to be worthy. And to me, one of the biggest things that could show me that someone is worthy of any of that before they ever meet my kid is, can you accept the fact that I have a prosthetic or two? Right? So I didn't bring it up in the first conversation. We did talk and talk and talk and talk. And we had gotten to a point where we were talking every day, all the time. And this person had already shared some of their own vulnerabilities and issues with dating in the past. And I shared some of mine and my baggage. And ultimately it had gotten to a point where this person was beginning to profess and solidify how they felt. And I was very fortunate, I think, that this person is so transparent, because some people wear their heart on their sleeve like I do, some people don't. And both is okay. For me, in my circumstance, this person professing how they felt and explaining the future they were beginning to envision in their head, for me, was a flag telling me that this person has now come to a crossroads of seeing this future. And I don't want them to look at me and perceive a future with me as being one thing when in fact it's going to be another. A future with me, or us, is going to include things like taking your teeth in and out. It's going to include your diet changing over time. Hopefully not too much for you. For me, it changed drastically. It's going to include dentist appointments with adjustments and getting permanent dentures, and it's a process. And for anyone who hasn't gone through it yet, maybe this is going to be more beneficial to you. But that's where my head was, is that I can't let this person continue to grow feelings for me and not let them see me. They were able to learn about my hobbies and the fact that I have a child and, like I said, my baggage and my past and my dating history, what I do for a living. And part of that also included things like my identity. Something that I pride myself in is who I am and how far I've come in life. And a huge piece of that is my dentures. My dentures helped create who you see today. My dentures are a part of what you see when we're dating and talking and eventually kissing. So I could not let that continue to go forward and not share that and disclose it. Now, I want to make this very clear. This is my thought process now. But if someone was to date someone like me, let's say the person I'm dating or talking to has dentures, okay? For someone like myself, I don't feel like you disclosing that you have a prosthetic should even be a conversation. Okay, and that's fine. It's okay. This is where I'm probably going to put myself in some murky water here, so bear with me. But me talking to you, let's say you and I are dating and you have dentures or you're thinking about it and we're at this conversation now. You're doing something medically to help you. You did something to benefit your life. I'm happy that you wanted to disclose that with me. And I appreciate your ability to be vulnerable and transparent, but it should make no difference. Not one. Not one. The fact that you have to disclose you have or wear a prosthetic is mind-blowing. So it's a double-edged sword. I understand that mentality and the fact that you shouldn't even have to explain yourself. But I myself was put in the situation, and that's how I felt, was that I wanted to be transparent. And I wanted them to understand that my intention isn't to hide any part of who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of how far I've come and what I've dealt with. And the person worthy of my time, the person that's going to eventually be worthy of meeting my son, better be able to handle this. And not just all this, but this. The person worthy of meeting your parents or your child, the person worthy of your time, better be willing and able and ready to handle the fact that you did what you had to do. And I don't care if it was the dentures, I don't care that it had anything to do with, your leg, your arm, your eye, whatever. You changed your hair color. Whoever's watching these videos, I don't know. You shouldn't have to explain yourself. You shouldn't. No other... That's a tangent. I'm sorry. But I felt the need to explain it because I own the fact that when I go in the bathroom, it's going to take longer. When I sleep at night, I'm not wearing my teeth. You know? When I'm having a frustrating denture day and I want to boomerang these things, which has happened with the bottom. Not boomerang them, but I've gotten that mad. I want to be with someone who can sit there and hear it and understand. These things are making me so dang mad today. Let me tell you about the struggle I went through. Okay, babe, tell me what happened. What'd you go through? Oh man, I can't imagine. That's wild. I want to have those conversations. When I go and get my permanent dentures, I want to be excited and able to talk to my other about what I'm going to do to customize them. Am I going to get fangs? Do you think I'd look good with fangs? Should I go ahead and get the bigger teeth the way I'm thinking, the way I want? Should I go even whiter? You know, like those are exciting conversations you deserve to be able to have with your significant other. That openness, that communication, that excitement, that celebratoriness, celebration. You know? So, that was a whole 20-minute tangent I just went on. But at this point, me and this person, we had been talking on the phone, we had been texting, and video dating. Because I do have a child, so my schedule is very strict. And we were kind of at a point where we wanted to have some kind of a date, so we did video dating. And like I said, they were professing their love and their feelings and their thoughts, their ideas. And I reciprocated because I do feel the same. And don't quote me, but I did start off by saying, I do need to talk to you about something else while we're talking about this and where we see ourselves going. And the reason I want to talk to you about this is because it has to do with long-term medical issues. And I heard him out. He said, okay, that's fine. This is something you're going to have to live with for a lifetime? And I said, yes. And he said, okay. Lay it on me. And I did get emotional. And he ended up asking, is it terminal? Like, what are we talking about here? Had no idea. And I was like, no. It affects my appearance. They're prosthetics. It affects my speech. You know, kind of trying not to hit him with the full brick wall. Throw one brick at a time. But he still didn't get it. So finally I wear dentures. I've been wearing them since September 20th of this year. So it's fairly new. And I think you should know. Because this isn't something I can undo. It's done, and if we're going to sit here and talk about feelings, I want you to see me for who and what I am. You already know that I have a child. You already know about that baggage. I also have these long-term conditions in my life that if you're beginning to see a future with me, it's going to have to include this as well. He didn't really bat an eye. He said, oh, okay. Are they snap-ins? What's the situation? Just curious. And I said, they're old school, palate, no implants, no snap-ins. They come out fairly easily. And he said, okay. Cool. They look pretty. And that was pretty much it. Since I told him, we've had other discussions and conversations as far as things like eating and not eating. My favorite foods right now, because we're talking about, what are we going to do for food type stuff. Just learning more. And the way I see it at that point, once I had the conversation, the anxiety didn't really stop. It still hasn't completely. But that night, I had to hang up the call and face the reality that this person can block me now that they know. They can ghost me now that they know. I might wake up to a text saying, you know what, this isn't for me. And I think the biggest thing is that I already prepared myself for that. Because that's the worst case scenario. You have the conversation and they reject. And they say, you know what, it's not something I can mentally and emotionally handle. It's not something I'm prepared to do or accept or whatever. And that night, before morning, before our next conversation, I had already told myself, if he can't accept it, then he never deserved it. And no matter what it is, no matter what the outcome is, I'm going to be okay. I trust myself and love myself enough that another person's decision to be with me or not will not stop me from loving and accepting myself. Because for every one person that's going to reject you, I bet you there's 3 more lined up and waiting to get to know you better. Okay? So, he still texted me. He still texts me every day. We still talk. And nothing's really changed. Nothing really changed. And he tells me I'm beautiful all the time. When we see each other, he just stares and smiles. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you're just so beautiful. So the dentures, since I've brought them up and since I've talked about them, they don't really come up. I think that if anything, he sees that it's something I have to deal with, but it's not a burden. This is something simply me taking care of me. I go to the gym. I brush my teeth. I make dinner. I make food. I eat. I socialize. I still talk. I have my hobbies. I have my things that I do. I have dentures. That's about it. I can color my hair. I can cut it. I can change my earrings. I love playing with makeup. And I can take my teeth out to clean them. And I can put them right back in. And I put on lipstick. So, I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to dating is try to find ways of measuring the depth of someone's character and personality before you even talk about the dentures. And that's to find out if they're even worthy of explaining it or talking about it. Because to me, someone who is shallow and self-absorbed and rude to your waiter and waitress, or has no regard for other people's feelings or animals or whatever, they're not mature enough. They're not ready, and they're not going to be able to handle it. Not in my opinion. Because if you can find it in your heart to be rude to that waiter or waitress who's doing the best they can to make it through another shift of dealing with people who are rude to them, and you can still find it in you to be rude to them, I can only imagine how you're going to treat me when you find out I don't have teeth. So, keep it moving. And that's kind of what I did, was I would talk to people about things like that and find out, what kind of a person am I even talking to. So, at any rate, as things develop in the dating world, that's going to become a part of this channel now, is dating and dating questions and things like that. But so far, that's what I've got. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more dating videos from me in the future, go ahead and hit the like button. If you have any additional questions or ideas or anything, maybe your own experiences in dating, questions about dating, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll respond to you and I'll talk to you and I'll talk you through it. If you would like to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.